back to my channel. It's me Anargya, and yeah, today I wanted to make a video about certain tips for people to start reading. If you're a person who gets really bored while reading, or you try to read but you really can't, or you're just a non-reader and you're just watching this for fun, hello, this video is for you. So hereby I'll give you a few tips to start reading, and these are not the tips, these aren't the tips that I googled up or anything like that. These are just the tips that I used myself, and like I learned them while reading. So yeah, and first off, I got a new piercing. Look at this. I really love it, and it hurts a lot right now. So yeah, let's get started. Tip number one. So, what you need to do is when you're picking up a book that you want to read, you want to make sure that you pick a book that has a lot of short chapters as compared to a few but long chapters. Okay, because what happens is when you read a book that has a lot of short chapters, whenever you finish a chapter, you get a feeling of accomplishment, right? And that makes you want to read more. But if you pick up a book that has, say, just a few 6 to 7 chapters, but each chapter is like 30 to 40 page long, so what will happen is you'll take a larger amount of time to finish one chapter, and when you finish a chapter you'll be like, okay, this was just one chapter, how many more to go? That's the thing. So it's better to pick up a book that has a lot of short chapters. Okay, so tip number two. Tip number two is to pick a book that is already a bestseller and is overhyped on the internet or something like that. Because let's be real, if you pick a book that's already very famous amongst the people all around the globe, what will happen is there are higher chances of you liking it. But if you pick a book that's not very hyped and it's not popular at all, there are fair chances that you might not like it, or you might not like it as much. So what will happen is when you read a book, it's your first book, so you want to make sure you read a book that is going to make you want to read more books, right? Because if you read a book and it's fine, it was good but it wasn't too good, what will happen is you'll never pick up reading again. So you want to make sure you pick a book that's very very famous, because you need to play safe for your first book. And okay, so tip number 3 is you need to start reading at a specific time period of the day. Okay, so let me explain this. For example, you pick a book and you pick a time, say 3 p.m. You want to read it every day. You read it for 4 to 5 days and you're almost through it. But on the sixth day, something came up, you're busy or you forgot or whatever, you're not able to read it at that specific time slot. What will happen is your brain will kind of inform you, remind you that you had to read the book. So it's better to read books at a specific time during the day, because our brain prefers habits. It likes habitual routines and stuff like that. I know it sounds more like a psychological training or something like that, but this is something I've actually done. I used to read at a specific time during the day, and the day I didn't do that, I felt guilty for not doing it somehow. So yeah, and that's how I started reading daily. Tip number 4 is to use audiobooks. Although there are a lot of apps that provide you audiobooks, but you have to pay for them and stuff like that. On YouTube, you'll find a lot of audiobooks for free. And all of the best-selling novels, I think most of them, the ones that I tried to read, all of them had an audiobook. So what you need to do is you can listen to the audiobook while keeping the book in front of you. What will happen is it will improve your concentration. It will also help you to make a grip over the language, improve your communication and stuff like that. And plus you can also control the speed of the audiobook. For example, you start reading a book along with the audiobook thing, right? And you think that the audiobook is a little too slow, you can control the speed, you can increase it, and that will help you to increase your reading speed as well. So you can speed read like that, and you won't even get bored, because when you're listening to the same audio and you're reading the same stuff at the same time, what will happen is you will have a better concentration, and even if something's going around you, you won't even notice it, because you'll actually be immersed into reading. And this is a very helpful tip for someone who can't stay at one place, who can't read because you get bored. So when you're listening to the audiobook while reading that book in your hand, there are a fewer chances of you just putting it on the side. You will most likely finish it. So tip number 5, and the most obvious tip, is to choose your genres wisely. Because watching a movie and reading a book are pretty much the same thing. So the stuff you like watching in movies is the stuff you like reading about. That's pretty obvious, right? So if you like rom-com, or if you like suspense, thrillers, or whatever, fiction, go with the same in books. So I think that's pretty much it for the tips. Like, there are a few other things that you can keep in mind while reading is like, if you've just started out reading, I'd prefer to read an offline hardcover book rather than an online book. You can read online books afterwards, but when you're just starting out, it's better to read an offline book because I don't know, for me, online books are just not it. Though I do read online books, but I don't prefer reading them usually. Another thing is, I would prefer to read standalone books as compared to the books in series because it's harder to commit to them and there are chances you might not even finish them. Like, so I think that's pretty much it. I literally said what I had to say and like everything's done, I guess. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're a reader or if you've read any few workbooks, whatever you've read, you can tell me your favorite book down in the comments below. And most importantly, if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Go subscribe, hit that bell button so that you get notified every time I put up a video. And that's pretty much it, I think. Until next time, bye bye.